The One Piece is real! On Netflix, apparently. And if you want to see the differences between it and the anime adaptation, boy have I got something to tell you. Hi guys, my name is Dante, and today we're going to be talking about what I call NetPiece. Because Netflix's One Piece is different from One Piece, but it is way different than Dub Piece. So I'm just going to call it NetPiece to avoid confusion. Like most of my reviews, or at least the one that I have recently covered, I'm going to give pros and cons and give an overall score of what this total series is overall. If you're a One Piece fan, it's going to be fun. If you wanted to get into it but are afraid of the episode count, I'd still recommend it. You're going to have a good time, but now let's get into it. Alright, so let's give a little summary about what NetPiece is essentially adapting. NetPiece is all in all, just the whole East Blue saga condensed into one season. Each episode an hour long, 8 total. Which makes it fun for Netflix and chill, and fun binging with all your anime friends. Here's a fun if you're over the age of 21. For every change that was made to the manga plot in this adaptation, take a shot of sake. If you're under the drinking limit, do what I call punch buggy. You spot the change, and you punch buggy. In terms of a live-action adaptation of the manga, it's not that bad, because my expectations for this, when compared to the vast majority of most live-action adaptations of manga, the expectations were kind of low. Luckily for Netflix, Ashiro Oda was very happy to be on board with this whole production, and that is great. You should always get the creator on board, because if you don't, it's not going to end well. Just look at Witcher. There were a couple of changes to the whole plot, but I think that was just mostly for the sake of rushing the plot along, since each episode is just an hour long. You gotta make a couple of changes for the sake of time, which wasn't that bad, but hey, it was a little fun to see what was changed. A little minor inconvenience, but not that bad. But how are the actors? How are the people who are playing our favorite beloved characters who have been entertaining us for over 30 years, if you watch One Piece since the beginning? Well, the actors that Oda picked are pretty good. They all really nail the characters down. They have the same energy for the most part. I'm also very glad that the actors decided to actually look like their manga counterparts, because looks are very important when it comes to adaptation. It's how we recognize our favorite characters. Not only do they look like their characters, but they capture the energy. For the most part. For some reason, Nami, throughout most of the majority of this production, she seems very stoic. An occasional smile and the very heartbreaking scene with the straw hat, but yeah, most of the time she just seems like, I don't know, she seems like she just is not interested in this whole ordeal. But all the actors pretty much just got down whatever characteristics of their characters pretty accurately for the most part. I have to give credit to whoever pitched Buggy the Clown's actor. This guy was threatening. He was giving off Joker vibes. Although I do miss the wacky, energetic side of Buggy from the manga. Then again, this guy was doing a much better at playing a killer clown than Jared Leto. If you're one of those people who always argue, well, what about the casting? Is it diverse? Don't worry, it is diverse, and then some. Yeah, a lot of the actors also have accents. Mostly British accents, but Garp has a Scottish accent and Luffy doesn't?
Then show me what you've got.
Was there an accent quota to meet in this whole production? It's not bad, but it's just a little funny that so many people now have accents in this thing. And they, for the most part, really don't match up with the characters. I mean, come on, Sanji's supposed to be French. You couldn't give him a French accent? You gotta give him a British one? Moving away from actors, we can now come to the whole setting. The set designs, the world setting, it all just feels very One Piece. From the Going Merry all the way down to those creepy ass snails, I do applaud the production team of making this world come to life. I'm just now wondering how they're going to do everything else once they get to the Grand Line and the rest of the series is underway. So I say all this because this is the biggest pro that the live action adaptation has, or in comparison to all the others that came before, is that it is very accurate. Not with only with its actors, how the actors now fit their manga descriptions, but also in the world building. This show is roughly 95% accurate to the manga, which most adaptations, live action wise, do not really get. So the actors, the world design, it all is accurately a very big pro. Alright, so those are the pros, but are there any cons? Because a lot of people seem to be hyping this up, and I understand why, thinking that it broke the curse of live-action adaptations. Now this is going to be a new expectation for future adaptations to come. Well, yes and no. It certainly is a step forward, but it is without its problems. One of the minor cons that I didn't mind too bad, but I kept noticing, is that there were slight changes in weird ways. Like, Luffy's encounters with most of the people are very, very different. Slightly, but you can notice it. For example, Luffy meets Zoro in a bar rather than being heard about him earlier on and looking for him. Luffy got to see the whole rice ball girl in the skirmish with Helmeppo. Nami is also there, disguised as a Marine, trying to get a map of the Grand Line, but she was in Orange Town trying to steal it from Buggy, not the Marines, and all three gather in one spot. Again, it was for the sake of time and just everyone meeting up, but it was a little weird. Back to my drinking game idea, you're going to be as blitz as Kaido or very sore by the end of the first episode. The effects aren't that bad, but they are something to take notice of. They try to be as ecstatic and energetic, just like in the manga adaptation, but yet they're also trying to be very realistic. And if you just pause it at certain moments, it looks weird. Some of the practical effects are similar, like, take a look at the Fishman. It looks very, Star Wars-y. Like, you could tell it's fake. You could tell where the plastic parts are rather than just being blended in like he was really there. A slight nitpick, but not that bad. So, what do I give this live-action adaptation of One Piece? NetPiece is getting a 8 out of 10. Pretty good actors, it follows the plot very accurately, the world does feel like it came to life. A couple of issues with the effects, practical and visual, or at least VFX. Some very weird adaptation changes, but overall it was a pretty fun experience. It's not perfect, but it certainly was good. Not like this thing had any competition to begin with. If you're a fan of One Piece and want to relive the glory days of the East Blue Saga, give it a watch. Watch it with your friends or watch it by yourself. Either way, you're gonna have fun. If you want to get into One Piece, but don't want to see all those episodes of the entire saga, give it a watch. Because in the near future, hopefully soon, all these viewers will be heading back to the Grand Line. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, like, subscribe, share, and comment down below and help expand the anime underworld. I'll see you next time, guys.